Well, hello there, Dima. How are you doing?
I am doing great. What about you?
I'm doing good. Happy Wednesday. You know, it's kind of crazy out there. We're having this show. Some people don't even have power right now.
Yeah.
And we're not even talking about the folks in Lake Charles still. This storm, like the billionth storm this season, I think is over New Orleans right now. It's crazy.
Yeah, we lucked out in Baton Rouge this whole season. Yeah.
Being away from the coast from March on might not have been a bad idea. So, it's good to see you though, friend. Everything going well?
It's a reason to go back to San Diego. So
there you go. Always. I wonder what the beach looks like there, the weather, as long as you can stay away from wildfires.
Hold on, let me show you the weather in San Diego.
Ooh.
So
oh, that looks sunny and bright.
Yeah. Yes. So I saw that you met your goal for the fundraiser and you exceeded by $1 last time I checked.
Woo!
You did
by $1, and then now I'm up like $76.
Wow, that's a lot. So
I think I'm close to $100 today, and I have this little thing going now where sort of like what Dave did last year. If I can raise an extra 100, I'm wearing one pair of pink socks. If I can raise 200, I'll wear 2 pairs of pink socks, meaning on the same day, like at the same time. Like I have no shame
wearing 2
right now trying to raise money for breast cancer awareness with the American Cancer Society in the Real Men Wear Pink campaign. If I can raise 400, I'm doing all that plus my pink shoes, and I will most definitely have a pink shirt on. So I'm just gonna,
Wow.
I'm gonna go crazy with it. If I can crack 3,000 by like in 3 days or so, let's get it.
So so you're $400 away, right?
I'm like 300 and some change.
Okay.
I'm close, and I want to say thank you to Dima. You were one of the early supporters, and thank you so very much. I just got an email. I got another donation like a couple, 30 minutes ago.
That is so great. Well, we hope that our viewers today would go and donate to your campaign, and this way we can see you all in pink, which is so great, with 2 pairs of socks at the same time. 2
pairs of socks, 2 different pairs of socks at the same time with pink shoes, hopefully, if I can crack $3,000. So look, we have another nut to crack, and we've got to find out what is going on with our next guest. She's got a lot going on. I heard she got flowers the other day. Did you know that?
Our guest got flowers?
We got to talk about that.
Okay, wow. Let's get our next guest. So my dear friend, who I love dearly, Danielle Mack. Let's bring Danielle to the show.
All right, here we go. Danielle, come join us,
Hello, Danielle.
Danielle, how are you doing?
I think we lost Danielle again.
Danielle, can you hear us?
Okay, let me get her.
Let me try one more time. Let's see. I can remove her and add her back. Here we go. Danielle, can you hear us? Oh,
okay. We're having technical issues today. That's okay.
I have a graphic for this. Can I put up a graphic for this?
Graphic. You do the graphic.
Bam.
That is just so perfect. Oh my God.
Hello.
Hi.
I have a graphic for this moment.
What's happening?
You can't see or hear us, right?
I can't.
Log off and log back in.
Okay.
So in case you missed it, we are having some technical difficulties, and I'm going to go ahead and put us back on the background here. It happens.
I love the fact that you have technical issues. Like you.
Oh no! Look at me! Look, I'm adding to the technical issues right now. That's how good we're doing. Let's add her back. Danielle, are you there?
I can see you guys. Yes.
Oh, this is so great. Okay.
There's a song for this. I can see clearly now. The rain is gone. We got you back, Danielle.
We have to thank you because we did not use the technical issue design that Rob had since we started our new branding. So thank you for having technical issues.
Oh,
Thank
wow.
So we can use that.
Happy to launch that for you all.
So Danielle, we're excited to have you here today.
I'm delighted to be here. Thanks so much for having me on tonight.
Absolutely. I know we had to move your schedule multiple times.
So sorry.
No worries. No worries. Happy to visit. And you all have so much fun on the show. So looking forward to a nice time tonight.
Yes, it's going to be great. So Danielle, for our viewers who do not know you and do not know how amazing and wonderful and such a great friend you are, tell us about yourself.
Okay, sure. I am a Southern girl. I am born and raised here in Baton Rouge. I feel that I definitely need to say that I'm a graduate of McKinley Senior High School, Go Big Blue.
Nice.
Lots alums across the city. We have lots of pride from McKinley. So I wanted to share that. And I am a mom, a wife, sister, friend. But after high school, I fell in love with Northwestern State University in Natchitoches, Louisiana. And I had a great college experience there. And following college, I moved to Houston, enjoyed my time in Houston. As a bonus, I met my husband in Houston. He's actually an LSU alum. So definitely already had ties to Baton Rouge there. And I worked there for several years, got started in my career in nonprofit fundraising. And we decided after we had our daughter that we wanted to move back home to be closer to family. So it was a journey back, but we are so happy to be back. Well, I, for one, am happy to be back closer to family. And of course, my mom is very, very happy to have us back here. So we've been back about 10 years. So starting off, I really had no idea what a professional career in fundraising would entail, but I worked hard. I had an opportunity to have some great mentors, and I've been able to work for several organizations. In Houston, I worked for Baylor College of Medicine. Locally, I worked for Mary Bird Perkins, which I know we'll have an opportunity to talk about Mary Bird tonight, and then also the LSU Foundation. So now I have the privilege of leading a great, amazing team of fundraising professionals at Mary Bird Perkins. Every day we are working hard to advance the mission of the Cancer Center. And through my work, I have an opportunity to meet incredibly generous individuals throughout the community, also organizations, learn what's important to them and connect them in ways that are meaningful to the Cancer Center and to our programs and our services that we are working on. So, and also because I work with many companies through my work, I have the privilege of working really closely with our early detection and our prevention team on Mary Bird's Prevention on the Go Workplace program, which I will definitely share more about later. And then on a personal note, I definitely am a mom. I have an 11-year-old daughter, Autumn, who's super smart. Send prayers because we have arrived to preteen years. So learning to navigate that, but she's a very talented gymnast. And then I've been married to my husband, James, for 14 years. Also very involved in the community and very involved with our local Association of Fundraising Professionals chapter. And I have recently been elected to serve as president-elect. So looking forward to that experience and continuing to mentor other fundraising professionals in the community. So lots going on.
And you got the 40 under 40, which is
Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
That's the American Fundraising Professionals 40 under 40.
So it is the Association for Healthcare Philanthropy. Yes. So it's a national organization. So it was an award given to rising, upcoming professionals in the healthcare arena. So it definitely was an honor to be recognized alongside some of the best in the nation. And so it was definitely an honor. So my team was very, very sweet and kind and recognized me last week for that honor, because usually you'll get recognized at a national conference in person, but this year there was a virtual conference, so it was a little different, but it was definitely an honor to be recognized.
Now, I saw a video where you got some flowers delivered to your desk. Is that right?
Oh, you saw the video, Rob?
I missed that. I missed the video.
Oh, okay. Well, I will have to share it with you, Dima. But our team, they decided to surprise me and do something fun. And I will say that I find myself in lots of meetings. So I had a meeting scheduled, and when I arrived into the meeting, I thought, okay, I feel like we just had this meeting. And then I looked over, and one of my colleagues actually didn't even have a notepad, and I didn't, it's like little things I think about afterwards. And then lo and behold, it was a surprise party, so to speak. So surprise, socially distanced party, I'll say.
40 under 40 because of that.
Yes. Oh, yes, it was, Dima. And so gorgeous, gorgeous flowers. Our marketing and communication team helped organize and put that together along with our team members. So it was definitely a surprise. I had no idea that they were going to do that. So I really appreciate it.
Deserve the whole thing, and so
thank you. Thank you. Yes. So that's me.
So you took a job in basically nonprofit and then fundraising. I mean, was that kind of scary? That seems like the scariest of sales jobs out there.
Well,
but you're doing much more than that, right? But that seems like to start, you kind of went to the top of some of the harder things to do, at least in my opinion. Danielle, can you explain how starting your career there, what that's like?
Absolutely. And so I will be honest with you, Rob, when I first started my first nonprofit job in Houston, I was attracted to an events role. I really enjoyed planning events, and I saw that the scope of the job was a lot of events and volunteer management. And I said, okay, I think this is for me. And I got the job, and I really learned that there was so much more to fundraising. It was a part of a development shop that were Baylor and about to launch a pretty significant campaign. And so my job was working with a team and working with some major gift officers and working with others throughout the organization, throughout the department to plan and organize fundraising events, but also work really closely with the volunteers and connect them in ways that were meaningful. So I learned really quickly that there was a lot more to those events and a lot more strategy around it and a lot more stewardship and really being thoughtful about how that happened. So it definitely, I put my toe in the water, and it was big, but I really did appreciate that first job. And then it just evolved after that when we returned to Baton Rouge, and I was offered the opportunity to work at Mary Bird Perkins and really learn more about Mary Bird Perkins' mission and really truly helping to remove barriers to care through the work that we were doing was incredibly important. So beyond the events, it evolved more, and then just really connecting with donors throughout the community who are incredibly generous to really share with them more about the mission. So a little bit of sales, but a lot more connections. So
okay, more connections. I mean, did you see yourself taking that path originally? Like, was that what you wanted to do?
So it was actually a little bit of serendipity. I tend to say it was. I didn't really know about the role. And then I learned more about it, and it really opened my eyes to what philanthropy really is. So I really enjoyed doing it. But no, I will actually say when I first started off, I wanted to be a teacher. Then I decided that was not the role for me. And then, yes. And so then I wanted to do more of a marketing, PR, planning type job. And then I moved into philanthropy, and it definitely is a role that I've enjoyed. I enjoy knowing that the work that I'm doing along with our team is really impacting the lives of so many. And it really touches lives. So
you're kind of doing what you wanted now. I'm guessing a little like a flavor of it, right? A little bit of a little splash of marketing over here, right? A little bit of what'd you say, teaching? I mean, you're informing those about maybe what the cause is.
Oh yeah, you're absolutely right.
You're teaching donors or those out there that maybe have resources, how they can best utilize those to a fund or to some sort of something that makes sense to them, something that impacts the community. I think you're kind of doing a lot of that now when you think about it.
Yeah.
You connected all the dots, because yes, it does take a lot about that. There is a lot of education involved. And then once you are learning more about what that donor is passionate about, and sharing with them different ways that they can be involved with the organization and really connecting them to the mission. Because sometimes people might think, oh, okay, Mary Perkins is a cancer center, but they might not be aware of all the programs and all the services and things that we're doing to support cancer patients and help them through that journey.
Yeah, and I guess you heard about Rob's campaign and why he's wearing pink. And
I did.
He was forced to backstage.
she couldn't hear. She
couldn't hear anything.
Couldn't hear scenes.
No, but I did see a post, Rob. So I did know that you were doing the Real Men Wear Pink. So awesome, and kudos to you.
Yes, loving it. And I think we've got a few days left. 3 days left? We still need a really good push towards the end. So we're working on it.
Yeah, we've been going pink all throughout the city. So we are very, very fortunate to have lots of individuals and organizations and partners that fundraise on behalf of Mary Perkins throughout the month of October, and they go pink, wear pink, anywhere from a lemonade stand. We have a sweet girl who organizes lemonade stand. She's been doing it for 10 years. And then we also have, schools, but also other, you name it. We had a catering company that did a pink pasta sauce this year, and it was delicious. And so proceeds go to support cancer.
So also I saw that the General Hospital, is it called General Hospital? General something. They're doing something related to breast cancer too, like Protector Perkins.
Oh yes, there are lots of organizations in the month of October that are raising awareness around breast cancer, which is so incredibly important.
I heard also there's an event tomorrow that the mayor is hosting.
Oh, nice. I didn't know that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yes.
So Danielle, what you didn't mention so far is your big promotion that you got recently.
Oh, wow. Okay.
How would we forget about a promotion?
Oh,
so talk about leadership. And this is I know this is a topic you're passionate about. And as a woman in leadership, what are some of the lessons you learned throughout the process of getting promoted, and now with your new role? You've been in the role for about 10 months?
Oh gosh, maybe not 8 or 9 months. I started off in an interim role, and as you can imagine, navigating a new job at any point in your career can be overwhelming and new and changes and lots of things. So doing so in the midst of a global pandemic can also add a little bit more. But it has been a great experience. I'm very, very blessed and fortunate to have a rock star team. I talk about my team all the time because they are hard workers and they are so supportive. And I lean on them to help us move forward with ideas and thoughts. And they always come, especially during this time, and trying to be innovative and think outside the box. So knowing that you can count on a group of people that you're working alongside is dynamic. So, but when you think about, you talked about what are some things that you learned, it would be that being in a leadership role, I say it all the time, it's a team sport. It's not a solo endeavor, and it's so important to really build meaningful relationships and really identify partners in your journey. And I'm blessed to have a really great support system of mentors, family members. Very, very blessed to have my mom, my sister, my brother. One of the reasons we returned to Baton Rouge, but just having that support system and friends and colleagues that are able to make up my village, I like to call it. So being able to have a team around me, I wouldn't be where I am without them. And other than that, I think you gotta go for it. You sometimes will look back, but you can't look back. You got to keep looking forward. You're going to make mistakes, and I tell my team all the time, I don't have all the answers. I don't, and we're going to make mistakes, and it's okay because you learn through that. And there have been times when I've maybe doubted, either my thoughts or my value. And I say, you got to take risks. And I know it's sometimes easier said than done, but you have to take risks, and you got to get out there and don't be fearful about changes that might happen. And don't let others tell you what you can't do.
I like that. So tell us more. What does that mean? Who told you what not to do something?
Well, I think that someone may say, wait your turn, or, I'm not sure if you should consider that role at this time, or, but on the flip side, I've had lots of people that have encouraged me to take on roles that I personally, either didn't feel I was qualified for or didn't think. I have to give kudos to my husband because he has always been the person that has encouraged me to say, okay, you need to go for it. You need to do that, where, I might second guess it, but he's always been the one that have encouraged me to do it. So, I just, I noticed that sometimes people may not necessarily encourage you to take on the big role, but on the flip side, there are some that do.
Can we go back to that for a second? Because I love you said, I saw Dima react to it immediately. Wait your turn. And so what's the lesson? What's the lesson behind wait your turn? Because it's not, we can't say that doesn't exist. That is totally realistic. That's out there. That's in organizations. But it's maybe what's the lesson behind it? Because that stigma that does happen. What's the lesson?
Well, I think for me, it's probably been, think about and define what's important to you, and then face the fear. I think you say that sometime, Dima. Actually, face your fear, just go for it, and you can't let others decide what's good for you, and success looks and feels different to everyone. And if it's something that you're really passionate about, or if it's a goal that you are looking to accomplish, you gotta go for it. And you can't necessarily, quote unquote, wait your turn, because I find that you learn a lot in that period of, you might not know all of the answers, but you were able to really learn more about yourself and about a lot quicker in situations where it helps you step outside of your comfort zone.
Yeah, and what I realized that people, they project their own insecurities and their fears on others. So when they say, oh, don't take it, or wait your turn, or don't take a risk, maybe you're not ready, that is their own insecurities, and they're pushing it on you and giving you their fear. And why would we take that? They have their own journey. We have our own journey, and it's always good to get advice, but it's always very important to be selective of the advice that you're really going to take to heart.
Yes. Agreed.
I just kind of went back to a moment in my life and career. I was like, oh, Dima, where were you then?
What was it?
Let's not talk about that on this show.
Okay. I thought you were going to my office, sitting.
Well, you know what? I've been to your office. I would had been there and had this lesson and this live stream with the projecting of insecurities and things like that, and the wait your turn lesson behind, like, knowing that 15 years ago would have been huge.
Yeah.
But honestly, maybe that was where I found my lesson in that caused me to be here. But anyways, back to you, Danielle. I love that. I'm so glad that we kind of talked about that, because the wait your turn thing does exist, but and I would even say for females at a huge disadvantage in the workforce when it comes to probably a wait your turn sort of scenario, and then let's say an African American female on top of that. So for you to have this promotion, I think this is amazing. And I mean, what have you learned in your new role?
So I've learned to be patient. I've learned to, and one thing I've always said is, take responsibility for your actions. And so if there's something that you may have made a mistake on, instantly you say, okay, I messed up. I'm happy to fix that. What can we do? What can I do to help? And I will say that it really goes back to my group of supporters, making sure that I have mentors that I reach out to, and I will, it might be something as small as, can you read this? Is this okay? So making sure that I am leaning on that group of supporters, being self-aware, I found is important, knowing where my strengths are, and also keeping my values front and center. That's also super important to me. And then also being flexible. And earlier in my career, I had a schedule about everything. Everything was on my calendar. My calendar's a lot of times flipped upside down now. So just trying to be a little bit more flexible and not as rigid. I found that I've definitely had to do that.
Yeah. One of the topics you and I discussed a lot in the past, and I know Rob and I, you and I, Rob, we talked about it too, is being able to balance so many things that are going on in your lives. And I remember both of you separate, we get to list. Okay, let's list. What do you have on your plate? What are you working on? Which to let go of? But Danielle, it sounds like you've done a great job with that. So where are you related to balancing everything that you have on your plate, personally and also professionally?
So every day, and I think it's called the productivity principle, and I've read this recently, and there's always one thing that I have to accomplish in the day. I have my to-do list. There are lots of things, but I have to accomplish that one thing. So there is going to be that one thing I have to do, and I feel good about it. My day is good if I'm able to accomplish that. I try to protect my time as much as possible. Of course, earlier in taking on this role, I definitely needed to be present in a lot of meetings or conversations, because I'm still learning. Because although I've been at the organization for a while, there's still so much to learn in sitting in a new seat. So I made sure that I was listening. A lot of listening, but I know that I have to be protective over time and meetings, and so I've tried to do a better job of that. I know it's important to take care of myself as well. And also be present for my family. So, and every morning I get up super early. I'm an early bird, but I do a devotion. That's my time that I spend for me. My time that I'm spending, I take my devotion. I've also started, and I can't say that I'm even a month in, but I'm proud of this. I've started meal prepping on the weekends. So.
Oh, nice.
And so I take about 4 hours of my weekend and I prepare 4 to 5 meals. And then my family has those meals. They're in the fridge. And it has made my life so much better in a short amount of time, where I think, why didn't I do this before? So that's been really good as far as time and balance and making sure. I mentioned that my daughter is a gymnast, and she has lots of practice, lots of practice. And so in between balancing school and also in balancing gym and making sure that she's taken care of and fed, I have to make sure that I'm doing all the things that I need to do to give her that time as well. And also just planning ahead. On Sunday evenings, I look at my week, and I have a schedule with my husband, and it's okay, drop off, pick up, gym, who's doing this, and I look at that on Sunday evening, and we plan it out for the week. So planning ahead, taking time for myself, and being present for my family from a balance standpoint.
Wow. One of the things you mentioned multiple times about how supportive your husband is. And I love the men that are so supportive to their wives. When I think about like the women that I look up to and that were able to achieve so much, there's always like the man right next to them, supporting them. I remember Mayor Broom, when she first was elected to be a mayor, her husband was right there, like right there, attending events with her, being there, being supportive. And it's wonderful when I think about like women empowerment. Obviously, we cannot do it alone. We need men to understand the challenges that women face, but also we need men to be supportive of women. And as a result, we're going to be able to reach higher highs, and it's so powerful.
Yes, definitely an amazing partner, friend, sounding board. And so, yes, very grateful to have a wonderful husband in James.
Well, I've heard you mention support system too, like that at least 2 or 3 times. It's a recurring theme. I love how you keep mentioning that. It sounds like at least, a lot of people don't have that strong bond or that resource or that support system locally. So to have that, it sounds like you're tapping into that. That's amazing.
Yes.
And that does take a bit of the burden off, right? It takes some of the stress off a little, even in those times when you just need like someone to pick up your kids or watch them for 2-3 hours while we go get furniture delivered, or I don't know. It doesn't matter. But if you have that support system, not just personally, professionally, it sounds like you're just capable of doing so many more things. You are capable and able, and shoot, at that point you probably can be engaged. A little bit more, and be grateful for it in the moment. Having something like that, a great resource like that, has got to be amazing.
Yeah. It's still not easy, but right. It is. I agree with you, Rob. It's very helpful. And I know everybody is not fortunate enough to live in the same city with their family. But I am, and I really definitely appreciate just having them nearby and having that help. And then, just friends, and colleagues that are willing to support. So.
That's awesome. Now, when you were here and then you moved to Houston, how long how long were you away before you moved back?
Okay, so I lived in Houston about 7 years.
Okay, nice.
And then and so lived there. Really enjoyed living in Houston, and it wasn't that far away. So we were able to travel back to visit, but in looking at my career and then the path that I wanted to take, I knew being closer to family was going to be important, you know.
And so it was family that brought you back. Is that what keeps you here? Is it, is there something about Baton Rouge or Louisiana that you just love, or that I don't know why I'm asking these softball questions.
Yeah, so she's gonna be like
pageant questions.
I love pageant questions, Rob. I love it. I love it.
Recorded live on Facebook. I want to see how you answer that question, Danielle.
Oh my goodness!
Gosh.
Did I poke a bear or something, Dima? What did I do here?
Next question is going to be a political one. He's going to ask.
Oh gosh! What was the question again?
She blocked it already. Wow. Okay, Rob, go ahead. What is the question?
No. The question was, what do you like about Baton Rouge, Louisiana, or what keeps you here? What do you like?
So I think a few things. Definitely, you talked about family. That's number one. Happy to be close to family. There's something, and I feel like people say this all the time, but there's something about the Louisiana culture that I feel that can't be replicated elsewhere. It's a feeling. I love it. I feel like people are generally happy, and they enjoy spending time with each other, and they just enjoy, typically fall season, food, football. And then I really love my job. I love working at Mary Bird Perkins, and I like making a difference in the work that we're doing with our team. So definitely, yeah. So those are the things.
Those are the things. And look, we had a quick comment, but I hate that it was covering your face here, but let me just kind of give some attention to it really quick. Both business and actual family support defines how you navigate life. Mm-hmm. I think that's pretty deep. It's pretty awesome for this show.
Yes. Very, very important.
Yes.
Okay,
so what do we want to ask her next, Rob? Let's think.
I don't know.
What else do we want to know from Danielle?
What's your favorite recipe, Danielle? I want to know this.
Oh, favorite recipe. So I was not expecting that question. So I am actually, I'm a pescatarian. So I eat seafood, and I'm trying to convert my family, but they are not having it. But I do like to. I like to make gumbo. My mom taught me how to make gumbo. I like making gumbo. I like making pasta, but I really like to bake.
Nice.
And actually during this this time of being at home a little bit more, I've mastered, mastered is stretch. That's a stretch, making homemade yeast rolls. So, yes. So I actually need to bring those back out, because I made them several times actually over the past year, and my family enjoys them. So
they're called what?
Yeast rolls. So they're bread.
Before.
Oh, I'll have to make you some, Dima. Yeah.
Dima, have you ever gone somewhere where they have like a big pan of rolls, like bread rolls?
That's it.
Like a big pan of.
Okay. So have you ever had a Sister Schubert's roll?
Wow, no.
Okay. I'm trying to think of a local restaurant.
Why do I feel like I need to have that in my life?
You've never heard of a Sister Schubert's? It's like a frozen roll.
It's worth a Google. I'm gonna Google it.
So if you're not in the mood for like a day-long yeast roll making session, then maybe invest in the Sister Schubert's. And
okay,
I'm not gonna even get close to admitting that I know what the roll is, which I don't, because I want to try yours.
Okay, I got it.
The feeling is good. If she's talking about that's what
Yeah.
You got me interested. I'm just saying.
Yeah. But I do like to cook. I cook lots of, I make regular things, I'll call it, like spaghetti. I do a lot of pasta. And then I also do like etouffee. I make, like I said, gumbo, shrimp creole, a lot of Louisiana foods.
Wow.
And then I do, I'll try to make it a little healthy sometimes, but
So since we are talking about food and I'm starting to get hungry right now, you mentioned, Danielle, that you cook for the week. What was the menu this week?
Ooh.
Oh, okay. So I made, and I actually wrote it on the refrigerator, so they'll know what I made. But I actually made some vegan spaghetti. Did some vegan
Nice.
spaghetti. I did some Swedish meatballs. And then also, and actually our neighbor is like a semi-caterer, I guess, and he actually made some ribs. So that kind of got me for one day for the family.
Best neighbor ever.
I did. And then I also did red beans. I made some red beans. And then I did an Italian sausage pasta.
So you still make food that's not pescatarian. You're still making food for the family.
Yeah. And I try. And I'll tell you, Rob, and I also have some, I have some vegan cookbooks, and I will sneak it in.
You're flipping it in.
Yeah, and so all good.
Okay.
Now I'm more hungry.
Yeah.
Oh, look, I'm so glad. Look, and those rolls, you would have normally had me at the yeast rolls because that was my favorite part of pretty much any meal was always the bread. And then, I ate a huge po' boy before this, like right before it came up. That's why I was slow logging into the show tonight. Oh, Danielle! Danielle got hungry. Are you there?
What?
Okay, I was about to say Danielle got hungry. She checked out for a minute. Wait.
Oh no, I'm here. I'm here.
No, we got to do it again, Dima.
Rob, you're checking out. I think we're overusing the technical issue.
Am I here? Can y'all see me?
Oh my God, we lost her now. We lost her. Did we lose you?
Can y'all see me?
I see you great. Can you hear us?
I can. I didn't know if y'all were joking or if you. Oh gosh.
I am so glad we're not a special show because this can be too much fun.
This is great.
Yes.
Okay, so now we're hungry. What else do we?
We're all hungry.
Yeah. I don't think you're going to be hungry for a while, Rob.
Not if you got 5 days worth of food in the fridge. I mean, it's already cooked.
Good.
And I got a microwave and some electricity right now. I'm okay.
Okay. Yes. So all good. So what else, guys?
So Danielle, what wisdom have you picked up just during COVID? I mean, maybe it's not professional wisdom. Maybe it's just good old sagacious wisdom. Have you picked up anything that has life thrown anything at you where you've learned a lesson or you now have a little bit of more understanding than you did before going through all this?
I think, maybe don't take everything so seriously and enjoy your time.
Look, I'm glad you said that because we got a recipe coming in from the right here. Zucchini pasta with tofu, I'm guessing meatballs, garlic marinara.
Oh, you're killing me. Oh, I am so hungry.
I was trying to give my wonderful wisdom.
Oh yeah, sorry, we interrupted your words of wisdom.
It's okay.
Sorry.
No.
That's
So, so your word of wisdom was not to take things too seriously.
Yeah. And just that I think it's it's important to really be grounded in your purpose during this time, and just thinking about how that aligns with what you're doing at your organization. And that's really shined brightly just throughout this time for me personally, and knowing what your why is, and just knowing that it really connects you to something bigger than yourself. And when you really think about, and I don't know if you've ever heard people talking about finding your North Star, and headed towards your North Star. And so just really using this time to give thought, because it's been a time of disruption in so many different ways. And while we are, all in the same storm, we're all in different boats of how we are approaching things. So, I don't know if that's super wisdom, but those are just
that is so great. Because the big part of our theme for the last few months has been resilience. So when I hear you talk, a lot of these things help us with resilience. So don't take things too seriously.
Mm-hmm.
And so that is a big part of resilience, and everything else you mentioned. It's just a matter of continuing to move forward, judge ourselves less, and just know that things are going there. It's not going to last forever.
Yes.
Hopefully not.
Right. Yeah. But I don't think we're returning back to normal. And I know people say that. I heard somebody say we're returning to abnormal. So, and another thing is it's okay to ask for help. I will say that's something else. It's sometimes, if you're in a new role or you're in a new position, you sometimes might want to pretend like you have it all figured out. And I've been very intentional about reaching out to others to ask for help and guidance as I navigate this new role. So.
Yeah.
And that you also mentioned mentors before.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to give a shout out to any of them, or would you like to at least give some advice to those who maybe were on the fence about having one or don't have a mentor?
Yeah.
Maybe looking for a new one.
Yeah. So I definitely believe in mentorship, and I have a collective group of maybe informal mentors, and then one that's becoming a little bit more formal, that I'm so grateful for her advice and her guidance and helping just navigate, and just goes back to being that sounding board and being able to confidentially share, maybe not sharing the names, but here's how, how would you approach this, or how would you have this discussion? And so I know that that mentorship is super important. And I also have a mentee that I am able to guide. And I do value those moments of being able to provide that guidance and share what I've learned in my career and in my journey.
That is so great.
Yes.
Yeah. How is your intern, by the way?
She's amazing. I forgot I shared with you about our rock star intern that our whole team adores. Her name's Jada, and so she's been an intern for a couple years, and she's amazing. She's doing great. I'll tell her that you asked about her. I saw her today, Dima. I know you had an opportunity to meet her.
From you, I just want to take her.
Hands off, Dima. Hands off.
I'm gonna take her and just.
Yeah. Time to ask for a raise.
Yes. She's great. She's really great. So.
Very cool. Love it. So we talked earlier about women in leadership, and you gave a lot of messages and lessons you learned as a woman in leadership. So what do you do right now in order to keep your team engaged? And especially when we're working with so much change, it's not easy to fundraise when you are virtual and you're not meeting and doing things as much as before. So let's talk about employee engagement. What are you doing to create a healthy culture for your team at a time that has so much uncertainty and a lot of fear?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think communication is important. So trying to share at appropriate times, what's going on, how the organization is moving forward, and things. Of course, there are some things you can share at one time, and then there's some things you're not able to share at a certain moment. But I definitely know that communication is incredibly important. I think that we are working to strengthen our culture in this new normal where you have some people in at certain times and others in at other times, but being very intentional about sharing with each team member their value, and then identifying if there is a need for improvement, being very open to having that conversation, but also allowing the team to lead. I mean, they are great at what they do. And so not always having to make the decision, but allowing them to be a part of that decision and take ownership in it, I think helps build a strong culture because they actually have buy-in. So that's been very important in this journey. So definitely the communication, definitely the engaging in our team vision and our plans moving forward.
I like that you mentioned buy-in too, because giving if not a sense of, but having some ownership in the process, or in sort of the the strategy that goes along, the way you produce things, being a part of a team, that all just kind of brings people together. I know that's one thing that it's kind of hard not being physically together, is that transfer of ownership, responsibility, and engagement is not like it was when we were in the office. So I found that it's an even, you also mentioned intentional a few times. And so I'm picking up on these words, and you have to be so much more intentional and deliberate now in this remote scenario, so much more than it was easier at the water cooler at the office. So have you noticed the same thing? Do you have any tips for those out there to increase or at least maintain engagement? Because I know for IT Inspired, it feels like it's even dropped a little bit because we're just not around that family unit like we once were. Is it the same for your team? Are you seeing that now that we're getting back together, it's maybe a little bit easier since people are coming together more?
Yeah, so I definitely think just being consistent in a time that you're getting together as a team is important. So not, making sure you're keeping that recurring meeting on your calendar where you're all getting together so it's something that everybody can look forward to. I know it's a little different.
Hard.
Definitely, and it's a challenging time, but being flexible, being definitely approachable, making sure the door is open if there are those things might shift, being flexible during that time. But I think just that communication is important in bringing everybody in at the appropriate time, because I know sometimes you'll have, you start with one group and then you have to bring somebody in later. So just making sure that you're communicating across the entire team so everybody feels that they're included and they know what's going on. And we still drop the ball on that sometimes. Definitely not perfect, but always working to strengthen that.
And what about your donors? What are you doing to stay engaged with them? I'm assuming you don't have events going on, or you may not have anything coming up in the short term. So what are you doing to continue to build relationship, trust, and ensure that they are still contributing to your mission?
Absolutely. So definitely earlier on in the pandemic, we made a quick plan that we are going to make sure that we are reaching out to all of our donors, a touch point, whether it's email, text message, or phone call, to check in on them. And it wasn't an ask, but it was definitely a check-in to see how they're doing. And we've tried to be consistent in maintaining some of those communications, trying to look at different ways. And I feel like everyone is communicating digitally, so it's it's hard to weave through the clutter, but trying to as best as possible, maintain that communication and provide alternate ways for them to give. So you are correct. We actually, across the region, we canceled about 10 events, fundraising events. And so we've had to look at alternate ways to bring people together in a meaningful way. And so we've shifted or postponed our events, most of our events, to the spring, or we've looked at having a virtual component. I don't like to use the word virtual because I know that's sometimes a taboo word now because everybody's going virtual. But we found ways to visit one-on-one via Zoom with many of our donors. We've had some update meetings that include our leadership team, where we're able to provide updates, and also just a lot of one-on-one. So that's whether it's a text message or email or phone call, but how they want to be communicated with. So make sure that we're honoring that.
I love that. Is there a way that you poll or document somehow their communication preferences? Because that's got to be, that's something, at least in our organization, we try to capture. Is that something you do as well?
Mm-hmm. So we've actually started, and we have not completed that process, but in our meetings recently, we've started trying to ask that question a lot more. We recently actually partnered with our marketing communications team to send out a survey to donors to ask their communication preference as well. So, and we were very pleased to get a good response on that. So we are trying to do a better job in documenting how donors want to be communicated with.
That is great. Well, I love the show today. You are wonderful, my friend.
Oh,
everything you shared is very meaningful. We're thankful you made the time to
thank you for having me.
Flexible with our constantly changing schedule. We would love to have you back. So maybe in the next few months, we'll reach out when things start opening up again and hear about the new transition your team is experiencing back to the, I don't know, you said it's abnormal, but to the new life that we're going to be living in.
Absolutely. Well, I would be thrilled to return. I would love to chat more about some of our cancer center programs, specifically our Prevention on the Go Workplace program. Would love to share more with you all about that. So absolutely would love to come back.
Sounds great. Okay.
That would be amazing. Thanks so much for joining us, Danielle. It was really great getting to know you, and some definite golden nuggets of content inside this too. So, and some wisdom, absolutely some wisdom.
And some fun.
When we didn't get derailed with food and menus and that type of
it happens.
I'm actually going to the grocery store after this. So.
Dima's running to the grocery store after this.
I am.
Awesome.
Okay.
Well, thanks so much.
This is great.
All right. Y'all
We
have a good
appreciate
evening.
it. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for joining and watching us. We appreciate this. And as usual, we want you to suggest a guest for our Chit Chat show. We're always looking for a great person to highlight, and we want you to tag or post them in the comments. So please do. Thank you so much for joining on Chit Chat with Dima and Rob.